Tesla owner Elon Musk announced a refocus on the company after stepping away from his role in the U.S. government.
Live from Michigan Avenue, this is Good Day Chicago.
Right now on Good Day, we're following breaking news out of the city's south side, where one person is dead after a home catches on fire.
We're also getting a better look at what happened inside the Bolingbrook Police Department when federal immigration agents showed up to arrest a man.
And taking a live look outside, the cold air is here to stay, unfortunately, at least for a little bit. What we need to know about any incoming snow for the Chicago area.
Good morning and welcome to the 5 a.m. hour of Good Day Chicago. I'm Brian Jackson.
Yeah, thanks for joining us on this Thursday. I'm Gabriela Primus, and yes, Mike Kaplan is here to tell us some partially good news, Mike, with the warmer weather at least coming in the foreseeable future.
Warmer.
I like the positive spin you're putting on that. Yeah, we could have a 30-degree day next week. I made a post on social media yesterday. Tell me if you guys agree. This seemed like the 54th day of January.
It does.
Yeah. It just seems like... Well, here's the deal. We have lake effect snow on the way, but not today. You're going to see a lot of sunshine, but temperatures are still way below normal. 31, 32, that would be the typical high this time of year. We're nowhere near it. Mid-teens again. But that sunshine and the fact that it's not windy at least makes it a little bit nicer to be outside for a short period of time. Here's the current temperatures. 4 below in Sugar Grove, 2 below at Woodstock, 2 above at O'Hare. It is 5 above at Gary. If you get downwind of the lake, Michigan City and Benton Harbor in the teens. And that's where the lake effect snow is going to start. I'll show you where that's headed in just a little bit. But right now, let's get that early morning commute update. Gabriella?
Mike, let's take a look at our drive times first here, closer to the city. We have no incidents to report here on the map that you're seeing, or the portion of Chicagoland. 25 minutes on the Kennedy right now from O'Hare to downtown. Under that on the Eisenhower, just above 20 minutes on the Stevenson, and under 20 minutes on the Dan Ryan. Something I do want to mention, though, because this is going to put a lot of hitch in a lot of people's commute this morning. Northbound I-65, the exit ramp to eastbound I-80-94. There's a semi-truck crash on that ramp, so that ramp is going to be blocked. Again, northbound I-65, exit ramp to eastbound I-80-94. That's obviously in Northwest Indiana, but a very busy ramp that we don't want to see blocked this time of morning or for our morning commute. I'll keep you updated.
We now go to some breaking news. A woman is dead following a house fire on Chicago's South Side. Officials say that it happened in the 7000 block of South Bell Wednesday night around 10:15. Chicago police received a call about the fire. When they arrived, they saw firefighters extinguishing the flames. A 75-year-old woman was found with burns on her body. She was taken to a hospital where she later died. Both Chicago police and the Chicago Fire Department are currently investigating the incident.
A Westmont teenager is due in court today, accused in a horrific killing in Downers Grove.
A mother carrying another baby was stabbed to death. Roseanne has more on the disturbing details we're learning about the crime. Roseanne?
Well, Brian, Gabby, police say the 30-year-old pregnant mother was stabbed 70 times by a man who was angry about a Facebook marketplace exchange. He will appear here in court in Downers Grove at 8:30 this morning. Meantime, family and friends are still in shock. They embraced at a vigil held last night for the wife and mother, Eliza Morales, killed in her Downers Grove home Monday. Prosecutors say 19-year-old Nettis Ravukas went to that home to finalize a truck sale, but in a rage stabbed Morales 70 times, stabbed the family dog between the eyes, and lit the house on fire. Police say he was angry about the condition of the truck and confessed to the killing. Her family says the young mother, who was able to try and escape the fire by trying to crawl out, was excited about having a new baby.
She fought for her life. She was ultimately stabbed to death. The apartment was lit on fire, and she bled out and she burned with a baby inside of her. Pure evil.
Police say another disturbing detail, they did find Ravuka's bloody clothing in a garbage can outside a Best Buy in the area as well. So once again, his detention hearing will take place at 8:30, and that will be followed by a news conference with the DuPage County State's Attorney and the police chief here in Downers Grove. Roseanne Tejas, Fox Chicago.
Wow, what a horrible story. We're thinking of that family. Yeah. Thank you, Roseanne, for your report.
New video shows the arrest of a man by federal immigration agents at the Bolingbrook police station. It happened Tuesday morning. Officials claim that 40-year-old Giovanni Sotelo rammed a parked law enforcement vehicle during immigration enforcement. His family claims that he had no idea who they were, that he instead went to the Bolingbrook Police Department to report what happened. In the video, you can see that some of the agents were unmasked. Also new this morning, we're seeing new video of the confrontation between protester Alex Preddy and ICE agents before he was shot and killed. This is video taken during a protest 11 days before that deadly exchange. Shows a very intense takedown by agents after Preddy was seen yelling at agents and kicking the taillight of their car. Preddy was able to get free. The Department of Homeland Security says it is reviewing the video. I believe this is just the video of the actual shooting of him. Attorneys say that the video does not justify the shooting. The federal agents involved in the deadly shooting of Preddy in Minneapolis are currently on leave. The Department of Homeland Security says that the two agents have been on leave since Saturday. One was a Border Patrol officer, while the other worked for U.S. Customs and Border Patrol. That investigation is still underway.
Meanwhile, registered nurses came together in Chicago's Near West Side to hold a vigil in honor of Alex Preddy. It was held at the Jesse Brown VA Medical Center. This is the message they had during that vigil.
This was an execution in cold blood. Shine the light. Shine the light. And now, as we expect in these days, nothing new. Shine the light on federal agents who blocked local investigating teams, refusing to accept the search warrant to enter the scene. Shine the light. Shine the light.
The nurses also called on Congress to vote to abolish ICE. Hinsdale police are searching for more suspects involved in a burglary caught on camera. It happened at the store Kelsey's along South Washington Street and near the metro station there. The video inside the store shows the thieves scrambling to grab the merchandise. Officers responded and found two vehicles. Police chased down one of the vehicles involved. But 4 people are now facing charges. The next court appearance is February 23rd. Cameras show a total of 8 suspects were involved. Officers are now working to identify the other suspects.
Indiana lawmakers passed a bill that sets up money for building the Chicago Bears a new stadium in Northwest Indiana. Senate Bill 27 passed 46-2. It creates the Northwest Indiana Stadium Authority. That is the group that would help pay for an NFL stadium. The bill still needs to pass the Indiana House and be signed by Governor Mike Braun. Well, we're just 1 week away from the NBA trade deadline. There's been some rumors swirling about what the Bulls could potentially do.
What do you think their move's going to be, Mike Kaplan?
I think they're going to deal at least one of these 2 players we're about to talk about here, but they'd be missed. I mean, they've both been good contributors. Were they going to be buyers or sellers? Questions. Bulls fans still wondering. Their most attractive candidates for other teams, these 2 guys, Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu. Both are on expiring contracts, which makes them kind of an easy deal. Chicago Sports Network's Casey Johnson weighed in on the possibilities for the Bulls while on Chicago Sports Tonight.
It's pretty established throughout the league that the Bulls would be open to moving some of these expiring contracts for the right price. They're not going to make a trade just to make a trade. But when you have 7 players headed for unrestricted free agency, if you let all 7 of those players walk for nothing, you're in a bad situation. So if the right opportunity presents itself where you can add some young talent or some draft picks and get rid of one of these expiring contracts so you safeguard against losing them for nothing, then it's something you got to look at. It's not to say the Bulls don't like Kobe White. They love Kobe White, but when you've got that many players headed unrestricted free agency, you sometimes have to be proactive about that situation and get out in front of it. The league-wide impression is the Bulls are listening to, calls that they're getting.
All right, speaking of the Bulls, they drop another one this week, this time to the Pacers on their home court. Less than a minute left. Game tied at 107. Andrew Nembhard steps back, buries the jumper. Pacers up by 2. Kobe White, he's got the ball. Dishes to Nikola Vucevic, who banks home a 3. Bulls are now up by 1. Less than 20 seconds to go, though. Aaron Nesmith gets the reverse layup. This is going to fall off the glass. That's a pretty shot there, and the Pacers are up by 1. So we're down to 7 seconds in the game. Kobe White going to try and get the ball in, but this shot is blocked by Nesmith, and that means the Bulls lose 113-110. Close game. Now that the NFL, the Bears have named Caleb Williams, no surprise here, is their Offensive Player of the Year. He set a franchise record for passing yards in a season. He recorded 27 touchdowns, had only 7 interceptions. He also helped lead the Bears to their first division title since 2018 and their first postseason win since 2010. So many good memories of game-ending drives. Now on to baseball. Yes, baseball. The Chicago White Sox, they are going to be sporting a new jersey patch this upcoming season. Local company CME Group will be sponsoring that patch. The announcement was posted on social media. The company says this is more than just a sponsorship. It is a partnership built on shared values and a commitment to the fans. All right, let's look at today's schedule. A lot going on. Blackhawks, they'll be in Pittsburgh taking on the Penguins. Puck will drop at 6. Bulls coming back home to host the Miami Heat at 7 p.m. Men's college hoops, the Wildcats taking on Penn State at 7. Fighting Illini will take on the Huskies at 8. And in women's college hoops, Fighting Irish, they're headed out west to take on Cal. That's at 9 p.m. Lots of action going on. And there's lots of weather action on the way, too. Today, it's kind of quiet. Now, just looking at that, when I see that star, I'm assuming we're kind of looking off to the west here. I believe that that is the planet Jupiter. If that is the direction that we are looking at, then that is going to be the planet Jupiter hanging just above the horizon. This is the view here looking off to the east, and it might be to the west, rather, and I think I see it right there as well. We have 2 degrees at O'Hare. A little bit of wind, enough to produce a wind chill of 12 below zero. Relative humidity, very low. It is very, very dry. I'm trying to moisturize. It is just, my hands are all crusty. Oh, it's bad. 1 at Chicago Heights, 0 at Waukegan, 4 below at Aurora. These aren't the wind chills. These are the temperatures. Wind chills, fortunately, there's not that much wind. Wind speeds generally around 5 miles per hour. So the wind chills, yeah, they still get your attention if you're out there for a period of time. Feels like 14 below at Waukegan and Rockford, 12 below at O'Hare. Not quite as bad in Northwest Indiana. A pair of -8s for Gary and also Valparaiso. Let's talk snow. This morning, there is some lake effect snow targeting parts of Michiana and also western Michigan. Nothing on the Illinois side or really in northwest Indiana counties. We're going to see plenty of sunshine. But that lake effect is not ending. In fact, it will ramp up a little bit here. And by tonight, it's assembling into a band that will start to move to the west. And by tomorrow morning, looks like it's coming in a little bit later in the morning than it did a couple of days ago. And this could, help with that morning commute. But it's going to come through here. Now, whether this thing, as our model shows this just kind of dissipating off to the west, that may or may not happen. But I am convinced that what will be going on during the day is that this lake effect snow band is going to start to move south and then focus in northwest Indiana. This is where I think the heaviest snow overall will happen. Lake and Porter County, especially tomorrow night. But whenever that snow band is over your particular area, it may snow pretty heavily. Gabriella, Brian?
Great news. Thanks, Mike.
Well, coming up on Good Day, another government shutdown could be on the way.
What we're hearing out of Washington, D.C. when we come back.
Enter for your
Here's a look at our top stories. We're following breaking news out of the South Side. A 75-year-old woman is dead following a house fire in the 7,000 block of South Bell. The cause of the fire is currently under investigation by both Chicago Police and the Chicago Fire Department.
The federal agents involved in the deadly shooting of Alex Preddy in Minneapolis are currently on leave. The Department of Homeland Security says the two agents have been on leave since Saturday. One was a Border Patrol officer, while the other worked for U.S. Customs and Border Patrol.
Indiana lawmakers passed a bill that sets up money for building the Chicago Bears' new stadium in Northwest Indiana. It creates a Northwest Indiana Stadium Authority, which is the group that would help pay for an NFL stadium. The bill still needs to pass the Indiana House and get signed by Governor Mike Braun. We may find out today whether a big part of the federal government will shut down after tomorrow night.
The Senate is set to hold a procedural vote a little bit later this morning. Our Doug Luzader joins us live from Capitol Hill. So, Doug, what do we know so far about this upcoming vote?
Well, there's not a whole lot of hope at this point that we avoid a partial government shutdown come Friday night. I mean, this vote today is expected to fail, and you look at the whole storyline arc here. I mean, last week we thought this was all kind of a done deal, this government funding issue. Democrats and Republicans seemed to be on board with it. Then all of a sudden it fell apart based on what happened in Minneapolis over the weekend. And now it's a question of Democrats trying to extract some concessions in terms of the way that ICE operates, trying to kind of restrict the kinds of things they do, wearing masks, roving patrols, those kinds of things. And I think Democrats are also heartened by what they see as public support for their side on this. I mean, we have new polling indicating that public skepticism of ICE tactics, aggressiveness, has really grown in recent months. And you have, Minnesota officials really kind of digging in their heels in terms of not cooperating at all with immigration enforcement.
Doug, the last government shutdown, it was long, and it had a big impact on TSA workers and air traffic controllers, we remember. Will they see the same issue with another shutdown if it happens?
Well, yeah, I mean, shutdowns, if they're short, you don't really notice them. The longer they go, the more they become an issue when people start missing paychecks and so on. I mean, if this is something that gets resolved even early next week, very few people are going to notice that it even happened. I mean, we've seen very short shutdowns in the past, but if this becomes protracted, the longer it goes, the more people feel the effects.
Doug Luzader, live in Washington, D.C. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Also on Capitol Hill, Senator Tammy Duckworth gets into a war of words with the U.S. Secretary of State. Duckworth and Marco Rubio held a heated exchange during a Senate hearing. Duckworth tried to corner Rubio on President Trump's strategy in Venezuela and whether or not the U.S. is at war. She also repeatedly asked Rubio about the president invoking the Alien Enemies Act as a pretext to conduct mass deportations and policing along the border.
These groups have waged war on the United States. They have waged, for example, Tren de Agua is not just a criminal gang presence in our street. It is a criminal gang directly responsible for narco trafficking.
The Trump administration has acknowledged that the vast majority of the men it rounded up and deported to torture under this law had no criminal records whatsoever.
We didn't torture anybody.
Over 75%.
Who did we torture? We haven't tortured anybody. We've arrested people that are members of gangs and we've deported them. We don't want gang members in our country.
Independent investigations have found that many of the men were here legally. If the administration is willing to lie about who it's targeting under this law, what protections do totally innocent people have against abuse? Again, I want to ask you, will you advise the president to rescind his invocation of the wartime Alien Enemies Act?
No, of course not. I mean, these are people that are threats to the national security of the United States.
This was part of Rubio's testimony in front of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee.
California Governor Gavin Newsom says he's launching a review into whether TikTok is breaking the law. It comes as users have reported anti-ICE content and videos related to Jeffrey Epstein are now being suppressed by the app. The platform avoided a nationwide ban by finalizing a U.S. ownership deal backed by President Trump. TikTok responded to the censorship allegations, blaming issues on app glitches caused by power outages happening around the country. A data privacy expert tells Fox Chicago, now that the company is U.S. owned, privacy laws require them to reveal what data it collects and how it is used.
They're collecting your immigration status. They're collecting your sexual orientation. They're collecting your demographics, hobbies, everything about you. They know they're tracking your location. we've always theorized it, and we kind of knew, but didn't know. Well, now it's out there in the open. People are seeing it.
California State Senator Scott Weiner says a TikTok video he posted Monday morning criticizing ICE and mentioning the Minneapolis shooting received 0 views, but he has nearly 50,000 followers. He says that's never happened before, and he believes TikTok is censoring complaints about ICE.
The Federal Reserve is going to keep interest rates the same. Fed policymakers voted to keep the benchmark federal funds rate at its current range of about 3.6%. It had lowered the rate 3 times last year. The central bank says that the job market has stabilized and feels that the economy is growing at a healthy pace.
5:20 now. You know, guys, I was looking at one of our cameras yesterday, and I saw that there's just so much ice on the lake right now. It's really beautiful. It looks beautiful, but
yeah,
if you're down there running, maybe not so much.
You know, some of that ice actually got blown away from the Illinois shoreline yesterday by some of the winds. Showed up kind of neatly on satellite imagery yesterday. Of course, there's still plenty of ice like right up against the shore, and we're going to be building more ice and snow into the picture here with no thawing in sight. We have today, temperatures are going to max out in the teens. This is a good 15 degrees, colder than normal and about where we've been the past couple of days. Let's call it 16, almost area-wide, maybe a couple of degrees colder far north. But at least it'll be mostly sunny and it won't be that windy. So all things considered, it's not that bad. Now, our forecast focus, there's still plenty of cold air, but our forecast focus is shifting from temperatures to snow. Today, there's none, unless you're in western Michigan, really. That's where some light lake effect will be ongoing. But the lake effect is going to start to ramp up later tonight. And that lake effect snow is going to be westbound and move into Chicagoland tomorrow morning. At this point, it looks like might spare at least the early part of the commute and have more of an impact, say, after 8 o'clock in the morning. Then the question is, how far west and south does that lake effect go? Our model is taking it all the way to the Quad Cities and Peoria, and then more lake effect starts to slide down the shoreline tomorrow afternoon, and eventually it is going to point more squarely and with greater impact into Lake and Porter County, Indiana. However, our model and some others bring that lake effect snow back to the Illinois shoreline on Saturday morning, where it could put down some impactful snow. In fact, our model keeps it going here, even in the city, into the early afternoon hours of Saturday. 16 today, mostly sunny skies, just cold. Tonight, we'll drop it down into the single digits again in some areas before cloud cover increases. Temperatures may actually start to rise a little bit close to the lake. Tomorrow, lake effect snow off and on. Won't be snowing all day. Saturday, some additional lake effect snow. But look, we get into the 20s, 25 on Sunday. A little light snowmaker Sunday night into Monday. This looks less impressive to me today than it did yesterday. Not that it looked that big of a deal. And then maybe a 30 on Wednesday, with some light snow.
Great. Thank you so much, Mike. Hey, let's look at our traffic map right now. I have better news than Mike Kaplan does. We're under 25 minutes on the Kennedy, Eisenhower, and Stevenson. On the Dan Ryan, you're still under 20 minutes. Despite there being a crash reported on the inbound side at Canalport, this would be after I-55. And reportedly, this crash is blocking 2 left lanes. IDOT is on scene. We're still talking about the situation over in Northwest Indiana. This is a very busy exit ramp, so I hope it opens soon. But it's a semi-truck crash that's blocking the ramp. Northbound I-65, that ramp to the eastbound side of I-80-94. Reportedly, they are shifting everyone to head over to the westbound side of I-80-94, which is obviously causing some traffic implications on the northbound side of I-65. So please keep that in mind if you're traveling around.
Coming up, there's a new children's book available for families to enjoy.
It's cute how it could help inspire a young generation of Cubs fans.
Fox Local, your smart TV source.
Welcome back. Lori Children's is planning on expanding to the western suburbs. There's a proposal to bring a pediatric hospital to the Downers Grove area. Plans include a pediatric emergency department, surgery suites, and key pediatric specialties like oncology and cardiology. It would be Lori Children's first inpatient hospital outside of the main Streeterville location. Plans for the potential new hospital are still in the early stages and still need to be approved.
Well, a new children's book is now out about the experience of the Wrigley Field bleachers. The book is called My First Trip to the Bleachers. The story is about a little boy that was inspired by the author's son, who gets a surprise with a trip to his very first Cubs game. Follows from getting the tickets to singing Go Cubs Go and so much more.
Even the cover is eye-catching.
It is
I want to see
very
those
cool,
illustrations.
Right?
How cute.
Yeah. Stick around.
We have more news on weather and traffic here on Good Day Chicago on the way.
Tasha believes
Right now on Good Day, we're following breaking news out of the city's south side, where one person is dead after a home catches on fire.
A major change for the federal agents involved in the deadly shooting of Alex Preddy.
Indiana lawmakers continue their push to have the Chicago Bears move to Northwest Indiana. Mike.
All right, lake effect snow is on the way. Not today, though. You'll see sunshine and very little warmth. Another day with temperatures maxing out in the teens. Let's see how that early morning commute is shaping up, Gabriella.
Mike, you know, our drive times are looking A-OK here at 5:30, all under 25 minutes for your inbound commutes. But I want to still talk about what's happening Northwest Indiana. It's an exit that is blocked because of a semi-truck crash. It's northbound I-65, the ramp to eastbound I-80-94. As we know, this is a very busy stretch. They are diverting traffic over to the westbound side of I-80-94. If you're traveling around Northwest Indiana, leave your house a little early. Hopefully this is cleared very soon.
We now got some breaking news this morning. A woman is dead following a house fire on Chicago's South Side. Officials say that it happened in the 7,000 block of South Bell Wednesday night around 10:15. Chicago police received a call about the fire. When they arrived, they saw firefighters extinguishing the flames. A 75-year-old woman was found with burns on her body. She was taken to a hospital where she later died. Both Chicago police and the Chicago Fire Department are currently investigating the incident.
A Westmont teenager is due in court today, accused in a horrific killing in Downers Grove.
A mother who was carrying another baby was stabbed to death. Roseanne has more on the disturbing details we're learning about this crime. Roseanne?
This is really baffling. Police say that 30-year-old woman, that pregnant mother, was stabbed 70 times by a teenager who was upset over a Facebook Marketplace exchange. Now, he will appear in court. He'll be in court here in Downers Grove at 8:30. Family and friends still in shock, embracing at a vigil last night for wife and mother Eliza Morales, killed in her Downers Grove home Monday. Prosecutors say 19-year-old Nedes Ravukas went to that home to finalize a truck sale, but in a rage stabbed Morales 70 times. He also stabbed the family dog between the eyes and lit the house on fire. Police say he was angry about the condition of the truck he was purchasing and confessed to them about the killing. Her family says a young mother who was able to try to escape the fire by crawling from the scene was excited about having another baby.
She fought for her life. She was ultimately stabbed to death. The apartment was lit on fire, and she bled out and she burned with a baby inside of her. Pure evil.
Now, one other detail and piece of evidence, police say that they were able to recover Ravukas' bloody clothing from an Ace Hardware where he said he changed. Once again, his court appearance, a detention hearing, is at 8:30. That will be followed by a news conference here in Downers Grove with the police chief and the DuPage County State's attorney. Just a horrific crime out here in Downers Grove. Roseanne Tejas, Fox Chicago.
Roseanne, so hard to hear and so hard to report on, but thank you for the details.
All right, time is now 5:34 this morning. New video shows the arrest of a man by federal immigration agents at the Bolingbrook police station. This all happened Tuesday morning. Officials claim that 40-year-old Giovanni Sotelo rammed a parked law enforcement vehicle during immigration enforcement. His family claims that he had no idea who they were, and he went to the Bolingbrook Police Department to report what happened. In that video, you can also see that some of the agents were unmasked. And new this morning, we're seeing new video of a separate confrontation between protester Alex Preddy and ICE agents before he was shot and killed. Now, this is video that was taken during a protest 11 days before the deadly exchange. Shows a very intense takedown by agents after Preddy was seen yelling at agents and kicking the taillight off of their car. And Preddy was able to get free here. The Department of Homeland Security says it is currently reviewing the video. The Preddy family attorney says that the video does not justify the shooting. And in terms of that shooting, the federal agents involved in the deadly shooting of Alex Preddy in Minneapolis are currently on leave. The Department of Homeland Security says that the two agents have been on leave since Saturday. One was a Border Patrol officer, while the other worked for U.S. Customs and Border Patrol. That investigation continues.
Meanwhile, registered nurses came together in Chicago's Near West Side to hold a vigil in honor of Alex Preddy. It was held at the Jesse Brown VA Medical Center. This is the message they had during that vigil.
This was an execution in cold blood. Shine the light. Shine the light. And now, as we expect in these days, nothing new. Shine the light on federal agents who blocked local investigating teams, refusing to accept the search warrant to enter the scene. Shine the light. Shine the light.
Those nurses also called on Congress to vote to abolish ICE. Hinsdale police are searching for more suspects involved in a burglary that was all caught on camera. It happened at the store Kelsey's along South Washington Street near the Metro train station there. The video inside the store shows the thieves scrambling to grab whatever merchandise they could. Officers responded and found two vehicles. Police chased down one of the vehicles involved. 4 people are now facing charges. The next court appearance is February 23rd, but cameras show a total of 8 suspects were involved. Officers are now working to identify the other suspects.
A spa owner is facing felony charges after prosecutors say that he secretly recorded clients using hidden cameras.
Fox Chicago's Casey Cronus has more on this investigation.
Hinsdale's police chief says detectives have been working this case for more than a year, ultimately identifying at least 60 victims who were unknowingly and illegally recorded. What started as an anonymous tip to police set off a lengthy investigation. Reflection Spa is owned by 51-year-old Jason Spencer, who is now charged with 5 felony counts of unauthorized videotaping. Located near First in Washington on the 2nd floor of a commercial space, police say they got the report of a possible hidden camera at the business in December of 2024. Officers then found hidden cameras in treatment rooms, along with a recording device and a hard drive. Police Chief Brian King says detectives spent months combing through video and interviewing hundreds of customers. He shares that the victims had no idea they were being filmed. The spa offers massages, waxing services, and other body treatments. Police say no other crimes were committed at the business. Hinsdale's village president Greg Hart says when this all came to light, they didn't renew the spa's license, which expired last month. Cybercrime expert Detective Rich Wistocki is weighing in with tips on how to identify cameras when you are in a private setting.
If you see a flashing light, a lot of times they'll put black tape on it. A lot of times they'll cover it with black paint right before you get changed. Just say, I need a little bit of time to get changed. And so you look in the vents. You look in the sprinkler system, you look at the smoke detectors, you look at the outlets.
He adds that this case highlights the importance of anonymous tips.
See something, say something, report something. Don't report to anybody else but the police. You know, don't go on social media and say, hey, this, that, because you could be opening yourself to liability. So you want to have the professionals come in.
Spencer is appealing Hinsdale's decision not to renew his business license. As for those criminal charges, he is due back in court next month. We are waiting on a statement from Spencer or his attorney about the allegations. Reporting in Hinsdale, Casey Cronus, Fox Chicago.
Indiana lawmakers passed a bill that sets up money for building the Chicago Bears a new stadium in Northwest Indiana. Senate Bill 27 passed 46-2 and now creates the Northwest Indiana Stadium Authority. That is the group that would help pay for a new NFL stadium. The bill, though, still needs to pass the Indiana House and be signed by Governor Mike Braun.
Mike. More snow, huh? More snow. You're really saying it.
Yeah. Look at that little patch of cloud cover out there, too. It's high, it's thin, and it's going to be mainly south of the city this morning. But the lake effect snow is coming tomorrow. Today, it's just still about the cold. Make sure the kids are bundled up again, whatever they've worn. Well, I mean, I want them to change clothes, but the outer gear, make that the trend here. Will be 2 degrees-ish at 7, mid-teens during the afternoon hours, a ride home, maybe a couple more clouds out there. But I still think mostly sunny gets it done, and it's not super windy out there, thank goodness, or we'd be looking at wind chills of 20 below 0 or worse. Temperatures dropped to 4 below, though, at the airport for Aurora, 3 above at LaSalle. 3 below in Woodstock. Got a goose egg now in Waukegan, 2 below in Chicago Heights, 6 at Valparaiso, and in Gary, along with Merrillville, it is 5. Here are the wind chills. A few spots double digits below 0, including O'Hare, Aurora, Woodstock, and Waukegan. Kankakee even with an 11 below 0 wind chill. There's a winter storm watch, Lake Porter County, Indiana. This is to account for lake effect snow from late tomorrow afternoon through Saturday afternoon. This should be a cue that the heaviest snow is likely to fall there. However, that does not mean that nothing is going to happen in Lake and Cook County, Illinois, or even farther west. I think that's where the snow is going to start tomorrow morning. Let's try and time the arrival of this. First of all, today, there's a little bit of light lake effect going on in western Michigan. That's not a huge deal, but it could create some slippery spots. The bona fide lake effect band gets going overnight and is going to start to move toward the Illinois shoreline tomorrow morning. But here we are at 7 o'clock, and it's still over water, not really impacting much land, but that will be moving steadily inland and impact Chicagoland during the morning hours and then slide back through the area during the afternoon. And right there, tomorrow night, that looks to me to be the heaviest snow time, and it's going to focus in northwest Indiana. Coming up on 542, we've got more of Good Day Chicago right after this.
This is
Senator Tammy Duckworth gets into a war of words with the U.S. Secretary of State. Duckworth and Marco Rubio held a heated exchange during a Senate hearing. Duckworth tried to corner Rubio on President Trump's strategy in Venezuela and whether or not the U.S. is currently at war. She also repeatedly asked Rubio about the president invoking the Alien Enemies Act as a pretext to conduct mass deportations and policing along the border.
These groups have waged war on the United States. They have waged, for example, Train de Agua is not just a criminal gang presence in our street. It is a criminal gang directly responsible for narco trafficking.
The Trump administration has acknowledged that the vast majority of the men it rounded up and deported to torture under this law had no criminal records whatsoever.
We didn't torture anybody.
Over 75%.
Who did we torture? We haven't tortured anybody. We've arrested people that are members of gangs and we've deported them. We don't want gang members in our country.
Have found that many of the men were here legally. If the administration is willing to lie about who it's targeting under this law, what protections do totally innocent people have against abuse? Again, I want to ask you, will you advise the president to rescind his invocation of the Wartime Alien Enemies Act?
No, of course not. I mean, these are people that are threats to the national security of the United States.
This was part of Rubio's testimony in front of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee.
California Governor Gavin Newsom says he's launching a review into whether TikTok is breaking the law. It comes as users have reported anti-ICE content and videos related to Jeffrey Epstein are now being suppressed by the app. The platform avoided a nationwide ban by finalizing a U.S. ownership deal backed by the Trump administration. TikTok responded to the censorship allegations, blaming issues on app glitches caused by power outages happening around the country. A data privacy expert tells Fox Chicago now that the company is U.S. owned, privacy law requires them to reveal what data it collects and how it's used.
They're collecting your immigration status. They're collecting your sexual orientation. They're collecting your demographics, hobbies, everything about you. They know. They're tracking your location. We've always theorized it, and we kind of knew, but now it's out there in the open. People are seeing it.
California State Senator Scott Weiner says a TikTok video he posted Monday morning criticizing ICE and mentioning the Minneapolis shooting received 0 views. He has nearly 50,000 followers, though, on the app. He says that's never happened before, and he believes TikTok is censoring complaints about ICE.
The Federal Reserve is going to keep interest rates the same. Fed policymakers voted to keep the benchmark federal funds rate at its current range of about 3.6%. It had lowered the rate 3 times last year. The central bank says that the job market has stabilized and that it feels that the economy is growing at a healthy pace.
Icy roads are making it difficult for people to travel across the country. Take a look at this. It's a semi-truck overturned on I-465 in Indianapolis. There it is. This happened on Wednesday. Indiana State Police are blaming the incident on the icy roads there. Multiple other cars were damaged in icy road-related incidents as well. It was so dangerous out there. I was telling you, Brian, off air that I was seeing videos out of Texas and some of these other places where they're not used to icy conditions.
Gotta go slow when there's ice out there. Just take your time and hopefully you can get there safely. But coming up, Lori Children's is working on a new pediatric hospital.
The details about the new facility and where it could be when we come back.
Fox 32 News is brought to you by the
We continue to follow breaking news out of the South Side. A 75-year-old woman is dead following a house fire in the 7000 block of South Bell. The cause of the fire is currently under investigation by both Chicago Police and the Chicago Fire Department.
Federal agents involved in the deadly shooting of Alex Preddy in Minneapolis are currently on leave. Department of Homeland Security says that the two agents have been on leave since Saturday. One was a Border Patrol officer, while the other worked for U.S. Customs and Border Patrol.
Indiana lawmakers passed a bill that set up money for the building of the Chicago Bears' new stadium in Northwest Indiana. It creates the Northwest Indiana Stadium Authority, which is the group that would help pay for an NFL stadium. The bill still needs to pass the Indiana House and get signed by Governor Mike Braun. Lori Children's is planning on expanding to the western suburbs. There is a proposal to bring a pediatric hospital to the Downers Grove area. Plans include a pediatric emergency department, surgery suites, and key pediatric specialties like oncology and cardiology. It would be Lori Children's first inpatient hospital outside of the main Streeterville location that you see there. We spoke with the president and CEO on Chicago Live, who tells us they want to meet the needs of a growing population of families in that area.
The further you get away from your support group, your family, your extended family, your friends, your church, your school, all of those things that are crucial to the healing process of children and the eventual outcomes of them, it's better that they're closer to that system than not. And so when there's an opportunity to make sure that we can provide the necessary care for the necessary level of illness, we want that done in their community, where they live, where they work, where they play, and where they learn.
Plans for the potential new hospital are still in the early stages and still need to be approved.
Well, a new children's book is now out about the experience of the Wrigley Field bleachers. The book is called My First Trip to the Bleachers. The story is about a little boy inspired by the author's son who gets a surprise visit with a trip to his very first Cubs game. It follows from getting tickets to singing Go Cubs Go and so much more.
The Lincoln Park Zoo announced on social media the eastern black rhinoceros is the animal of honor for their zoo run. It's to honor the pregnancy of Kapuki, whose third calf is due this spring. The run raises money for the zoo's conservation efforts. The 40th annual race is on Sunday, May 31st. I always want to do something like this.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe we should do the run.
As long as it's a short run, Brian.
Right.
As long as it's
I'm sure it's probably not longer than like a 5K or anything.
Yeah, I would be distracted. I mean, look at that little guy. Not very little.
Yeah,
that's
And I
true.
shouldn't say a guy because it is obviously a female.
That's right. Well, you're complaining about a long run. You who run up the stairs at the,
That's true.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And I'm not
You did
talking
a high
about the
rocks
stairs
race?
at her house.
Yeah, I guess so.
How many floors is that, Gabby?
I don't know, like it was like 105 or something.
Yeah. So I'm not going to hear you complaining about
right.
the length of a run. My goodness. All right, we have a clear day on the way today. Plenty of sunshine on the way. There'll be some high clouds, especially from the city and point south. But lake effect snow is going to take center stage. We can already see a little bit of lake effect snow in western Michigan. That's kind of the infancy of what's going to be happening. We have a high pressure area that's going to start to turn wind straight down the lake. There's also a trough of low pressure that will come in, and this is all going to conspire to create lake effect snow. To make that happen, among the things that you need, you got to have a big temperature difference between the air above and the water. And you also have to have enough moisture on the lake to be kind of collected up. There is a little bit of ice out there, but not enough to prohibit or slow down the advancement of lake effect snow. So that's going to get going tomorrow morning. And it will likely start in Lake and Cook County and then start to press west. And the question is, how far west could this go? Our model and a couple of others are bringing, actually, lake effect snow as far southwest as Peoria. Obviously, it won't be as intense there. But then during the day tomorrow, lake effect snow continues. It will be migrating south and eventually evolving into a very heavy single band that's going to slam into northwest Indiana. That's where I think the heaviest snow totals will be. But on Saturday, there's a possibility this stuff swings back to the western shore of the lake. It might impact the city in point south on Saturday before winding down. Today, there's no snow. It's just cold. Sunshine, 16. Wind chills will be a couple degrees above zero. 4 tonight, clear early, some clouds coming in late, but no snow until tomorrow morning. It'll be lake effect snow tomorrow into Saturday, not snowing all the time, and some of us will get very little, but where those lake effect snow bands hit, could be some briefly intense snowfall rates of 1 inch plus per hour. Temperatures at least pointed upwards so that we get a 30 in there middle of next week. Still colder than normal, but better than it has been. Some very light snow Sunday night and Monday, maybe a few snow showers around on Wednesday as well. All right, let's look at a couple of photos, including this beautiful shot of the 22-degree solar halo from Kathy Abretsky. Took that picture there in Porter, Indiana, and you can see the sundogs on either side of the sun. They are part of the 22-degree solar halo. It's just sometimes we don't get to see that whole arc, and we only get the sundogs created by ice crystal clouds in the sky. Our second photo. This one is a cool shot here, a frosty day in Arlington Heights. We got a contrail going there in the background. Looks like the tree might have a little frost on it, and the sun nicely positioned there. But at least we've had some blue skies lately, something to enjoy best from indoors as opposed to being outside. All right, we will be back with more of Good Day. It's 5:56 on Thursday, right after this.
I'm John Moore. Good Day Chicago at 6 starts now.